G'day, boys. Welcome back to the Bad Pipes podcast. Today with me are my best little buddies, my good little pals, Scott and Isaac. Isaac is sick, so he'll probably chime in randomly, but don't expect the usual verbosity of his of his takes.
He'll be coming in randomly with a rasp like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
I like to come randomly.
Goon
Yes.
pod. All right.
Ugh.
Doesn't that word just make you gross after that video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't anymore with it.
It's a gross word now.
Yeah.
All right. So this week we watched the third episode of The Acolyte titled Destiny. The first episode that didn't have a dual title. So we'll be talking about that. Lots of spoilers, as always. So expect it. We also watched Godzilla -1 because it is on Netflix now. Good times all around, for better and for worse. Just something to keep in mind if you enjoyed the podcast. Check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/badpipespodcast. Are you with Scott on Twitter at badpipespod? And if you want to fucking argue with me about space witches, you can do that at the email, which is cryptidworksofficial@gmail.com. All right, now that the business is out of the way, it's time to play.
Don't forget to mention our sponsor,
And our sponsor.
Fisherman's Friend.
Fisherman's Friend, currently in Isaac's pocket. All right, so The Acolyte, Destiny, a flashback episode. You know what? Actually, before we get into this, I forgot to even bring this up before last week, but before I watched the show, I sat down and I wrote out kind of like my thoughts on the lead up to the release of the show, and I wrote out what my personal criteria for the show was. So
Okay.
I had 5 criteria, which I'm just going to like run through, right? So 1 was good dialogue. I'm a dialogue guy. If the dialogue's bad, I don't like it. 2, return to that like Taoist or Taoist sort of interpretation of the Force instead of the like black and white depiction that Disney has been running with. 3, the fights have to be good. Star Wars fights have lacked impact for a long time now, so that was important to me. And then the murder mystery has to be resolved in a meaningful way, not just a setup for the show that becomes meaningless after the first 2 or 4 episodes. And then, this is an 8-episode show, so they must be efficient with their screen time, i.e. no filler. I'll at least say, the 5th point, I don't feel like there's been much filler. My 4th point, the murder mystery thing is like out the window. Literally doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
Fights.
There is no mystery. There's no mystery. We know who's
there's-
fucking killing people.
Yeah. And even this episode, there's like a bunch of stuff that happens, and you know how it's going to end up playing out. It's going to be like, there was a fucking standoff, and then probably young Jedi acted too early and caused a big fight between everyone.
It was definitely Torben,
Yeah.
for sure. Who I was unaware. Do you know who that actor is?
It's King Tommen.
Yeah, it's King Tommen.
So
I
nowadays,
didn't realize originally.
whenever people talk about the cast now for the Jedi, they're like Squid Game, Trinity, and King Tommen, along with Chewbacca.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so yikes. All right, so this episode, what's your general vibe? Let's do the vibe check.
This episode fucking sucked.
Oh my god, dude, so bad.
It was
Like,
dog
bad.
shit.
The first
Absolute
two
dog shit.
episodes, I was like, man, you know what? It's not. I was like, there's some gripes, but like not the worst thing. And then they threw in this third episode, and I was just like, wow, it's just like downhill from here, huh?
Yeah, they really were like, let's fuck the whole goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my issue God, dude, my issues with this are just like so like you could write a fucking 4-hour video essay on the issues with this episode. My first thing is that like it's tonally incontinent. Like this episode just like pisses and shits all over the entire legacy of Star Wars. Like you decide to introduce like space witches, which they say they're in exile, and because of the thread thing, it's making me think that these are going to be, because they always have to do the incestuous Star Wars thing where something is tied to something else that has come before and we've seen. This is going to be an exile splinter group of the Night Sisters who decided to be good instead of bad like the Night Sisters.
I'm just like, can we just fucking move away from the fucking space witches? Why is it like every show nowadays has to have that shit in there?
Yeah, the whole witch thing is very cringe. Like the whole depiction of it.
Yeah.
Cringe. Also, here's a little thought experiment. What if the witches had been wizards? And you're just like, the Jedi show up.
Harry.
There's some space wizards who have like raised some twins in a vat. And I'm talking like full-on wizards, right? Because like they depict them as like full-on witches. So I'm talking like wizard robes, blue hat with the stars, the whole shebang, right?
Yeah.
Is that not just like tonally incompatible with Star Wars? So like, why do we think that witches are gonna be fine?
That's exactly how, I don't know. In my opinion, it comes back down to like, this feels like a forced way to try to gain female viewership because good little alt girls want to be witches.
Good little alt girls.
That's like what it comes down to. Like
goth baddies out here practicing Wicca.
Yeah, it's like I get it, but fuck, man, that just sucks. It just sucks as a theme. It sucks as like I don't know. I was hoping they weren't gonna go there, and they did. They went there. And I really was just like, oh, Ocean May had like parents who were like maybe like dabbling in some just like, oh, like use the Force willy nilly, whatever. You know.
No. That would be too simple. All right. And according to the DEI gods, God X's, black children can't have fathers.
Apparently not.
That's been my favorite comment. Like every freaking video, like second down in the comments has been like, Disney was really like, black children can't have fathers. Lucasfilm was really like, black children can't have fathers. Star Wars said, black children can't have fathers. And then like the number of times where, I mean, I talked about that with the Ark show with the dinosaurs and shit, how it's like your main character is a black girl and her father is completely absent from the entire first season of the show. I imagine they'll bring him up at some point, but they haven't.
Yeah, it feels like they're digging in to try to be relatable, or like, you know, they're trying to have characters that your viewers can relate to, but in turn are being a little racist.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And then they're trying to set up the show to be like an allegory for like queer acceptance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that directly with the lines like, society doesn't accept women like us. And then whenever you take that and like reprocess it through what they've said about the Force, and you're like, a cabal of power-obsessed women who use the ambient energy of life in the universe to create life in a fashion that's most likely unnatural and profane. Like, yeah, I wonder why people don't accept you. Like, there's a way to put gay characters into this where, like, if it was presented as, like, a natural and kind of unremarkable facet of the setting or the character, I think it would actually work. But this, like, obsession with it is, like, tonally off-putting for an audience, I think. Especially for something that's supposed to be an adventure fantasy in space.
Well, that's what I'm like. I don't know. They try to like tiptoe around it and like build an allegory for it or do some shit. It's just kind of like, I don't know, just do what Game of Thrones did and make like, I don't know, you had fucking Renly banging the one night,
Night of
just
Flowers.
yeah, just have like a I don't know, like a gay stormtrooper or something. I mean, I guess it couldn't be a Jedi because they're not supposed to be down, but I don't know. Maybe that could be a good plot, forbidden romance. But
even that would be like derivative of previous Star Wars things where it's like,
yeah,
forbidden romance, Anakin and Padme, and then people would be like, yeah, but they just had to make it gay, and then that's what the entire criticism of the show or whatever would be.
Yeah.
Which is just like I hate that that's like what people are going after with this, is like, if they just didn't present it as bad as they did, it would have been fine, right? But
yeah.
they didn't. They did like the worst possible depiction of this, where it's like secret society who like isn't letting a young woman go off and do what she wants to do. Like, it's literally cult-like.
Yeah.
And even whenever she's like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to the others and I'll take your point of view into consideration, is like, what? Like, it's just bad, man. Like, the writing for this episode was really, really bad.
Yeah. I don't know. They like those first episodes. I was kind of like, okay, maybe they're not gonna fuck it up, and they kind of did.
Yeah.
Not just the writing, the acting was also really bad in this episode.
Oh, the children are terrible. They're you can't blame child actors. That's 100% the director's fault.
No, yeah, but the children were really bad, but also you have the same actress playing the same or two separate characters as an adult, but then you're going to cast two kids that are supposed to be identical twins that look different.
Yeah. They did,
and they were bad actors.
They did look quite a bit like, it's just like, if the adults are identical, they should look completely identical. Just have the same kid play both parts. But like, along with the acting, like, dude, the chant, that was so fucking cringe.
The chant
it was so
really
bad. It was so, like, I sat there. I'm pretty sure I turned it off at that point. I had to like turn it off and come back to it. It was.
Did you see the interview with Kathleen Kennedy talking about the chant?
No,
I didn't.
She said that when what's her name, Leslie Headland or whatever her name is, the person that's in charge, when she proposed this episode and what they were going to do, she added that there was a musical element and that there was a song that they sing at the Ascension ceremony, and Kathleen Kennedy was like, and it just gave me all of these Frozen vibes, and I was like, that is such a disgrace to the songwriters of Frozen, who actually did a good job.
Yeah,
because this
a
is
disgrace to
dog shit.
Disgrace to Idina Menzel, who's a fantastic.
Also, get your
singer.
Frozen the fuck out of my Star Wars.
That too. No, I mean,
yeah, because whenever I'm like, oh, properties that will combine really well, I think Frozen and Star Wars. You know what Star Wars has been missing, guys? A musical episode. When's the musical episode? Every show has a musical episode.
Just get ready for Star Wars the musical coming in fall of 2025.
Oh my god. First Rey movie. Musical.
God.
And it's about how she's oppressed as a woman, despite the fact that she's the apparently like only remaining Jedi in the galaxy, and probably the entire galaxy looks at her as this superhero for re-killing Palpatine, not knowing that she herself is a Palpatine.
Sometimes I just sit here and I wonder, what if like HBO had bought Star Wars?
Yeah, I wonder. Like, I wonder. Oh man. Or like if they took some like truly artistic directors from like A24 films or like Neon, or like some of these people that are like doing some legitimately cool artistic things, Like how, like what could we have gotten instead of this? Because like
Yeah.
the whole premise for the show is just bad. Like, oh, we're gonna have an entire show about the Jedi, and then it's not about the Jedi. The Jedi are all side characters. And like I think everyone who heard there's gonna be an entire show about the Jedi, they wanted to see a show where the Jedi are in their prime and they're going around like fucking solving crime if the setup is a murder mystery, right?
Yeah, it's like give us the Mandalorian, but with a Jedi as the main character.
Yeah, like a fucking squad of Jedi. That would have been sick. But what did
Yeah.
we get? We got this. And this is like honestly kind of disgusting.
Did either one of you ever read the Young Jedi Apprentice books when you were kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted out of a
Yeah.
Disney Plus High Republic show. Give me something like that. Give me a Jedi and her Padawan going on adventures.
Yeah,
You know
where
what,
it,
Isaac?
like,
You can't
does
have it. You
world
can't
building.
fucking have it.
But yeah, like
They
something
don't-
that does world building and explores like what were the Jedi before the prequels, like because in the prequels things are happening that are like causing changes, right? So the
Yeah.
Jedi go from a peacekeeping force to a like generals to like being the only people at the end of the third movie who are like, hey, actually Palpatine has like way overstayed his term and we're starting to think that like maybe he actually has bad plans, you know. So like before
Yeah.
all these great changes are happening, like you could have had a show that just world built and was like, this is the Jedi at their prime and they're doing their shit and they are the good guys. And people would have eaten that up, man. People ate up the first episode or the first season of Mandalorian where the dude is just being a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Disney feels afraid to give us like actual Jedi content. Like why is everything I don't know. It's just like it just feels like we never get like we get Ahsoka, and even that is just like there's so much of that not related to like her being a Jedi. The choreography is also just absolutely fucking trash. I know we talked about that. It's like choppy. It's like it's just she's used her 2 fucking lightsabers and it just looks janky. Like I don't know why can't we just have a good show about Jedi with some good fucking fights and choreography?
Well, a lot of people would say that, well, Ahsoka isn't a Jedi.
Well, yeah.
Which is kind of like her character arc or whatever, because it's like, oh, I don't agree
Yeah.
with what the Jedi are doing or becoming, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Kind of makes sense within the context of the shows that she was depicted in.
Mhm.
But like we're saying, this is a show that is the Jedi in their prime, and they're basically just like the Republic CPS, who is like, sorry, Child Protective Services, who are like going around, and in the show they just like show up and there's this like veiled threat every time the Jedi show up, and you're like, I don't like this. I don't like how they're being depicted. Like, I want to root for the good guy, and the good guy at this point in time is the Jedi.
Yeah.
When my son asks me what killed Star Wars, I will point to this show. When did it die, Dad? It died right here. This is where it officially died. It started dying a while ago, but this is where it finally died. And this same woman has just publicly stated she wants to do Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
If
Jesus
they give
Christ.
her Knights of the Old Republic, I'm going to set myself on fire in front of Disney Plus offices.
I mean, if I'm single, I'll do the same with you.
If we do it together, it'll be more impactful.
Yeah, we'll hold hands. We'll go to Disney World, right outside of the Star Wars Galaxy Express Star Cruiser, or whatever the fuck it's called. The
Oh, dude, I want
$6,000
Captain Kennedy to see it. We're doing outside of the office.
Yeah. But yeah, there's also like a lot of just really odd stuff in this. Like the entire Ascension ceremony to me felt like a marriage. Especially like the I do kind of stuff, you know. which is like, it felt really off-putting when you have two kids that feel like they're getting married to like a sisterhood or this like coven of witches, and it's like, well, they haven't seen anything of the world, they're not making their own decision.
It felt to me like some sort of orgy with something that I couldn't see that was doing things, which also children should not be at.
I mean, that too, because that is like the atmosphere of the scene.
They were all like moaning and making funky noises, and I was like, listen.
A good like 2-word description of it would be like religious ecstasy, and usually like ecstasy is associated with like, just the word is usually associated with like sexual pleasure in some way. It's why the drug is called
moans
ecstasy.
in there. There were a couple moans in there that were like, oh, all right. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no wonder that one of the major criticisms of the scene have been people being like, they're all just fucking sex moaning, and they're all like getting off, and they're all like finger blasting the sky is another one I saw. Like
the thread.
Yeah.
The good thing about thread is you can cut it. So that's a pretty shitty metaphor for the Force. I don't know.
Or, you know, as as I said in text, you pull the thread hard enough, the tampon pops out.
That is just misogynistic.
Wait for applause. So yeah, like the entire atmosphere of the scene, the ascension, the I do's, the one child, like very clearly, like on her face, it being like clearly expressed that she does not want to go through with this, and yet feeling like pressured into it. Like nothing about this scene felt like healthy or good or in any way like redeemable. And it felt like a weird, I feel weird even saying this, but it felt like an incestual sort of marriage. Like you've got these two twin sisters that are like getting married, and it feels fucking weird, man. Thoughts, opinions? Am I just like totally off base with that? Because like it was a really unsettling scene for me.
Once everybody started moaning, I was like, this is dog shit. Just add to the dog shit pile.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel any particular way about it. I just thought it was bad acting and cringe and super fucking bad.
Yeah, definitely agree.
I don't know. Here's my thing. I go back and I look at like shots of like Darth Vader with the stormtroopers, like Force choke people. Like, I don't know. You see clips just from like the original trilogy, and you go, damn, like we once upon a time had like a fucking like space opera. Like we had like something that was just like, I don't know, like you had good sci-fi. It's just like now it's devolved into this thing that's like, we've got fucking like Wiccans.
Yeah. And like they don't even have a name or title or anything that they like say in this episode. I'm sure it'll be addressed eventually in the show. Or it won't. It'll be the freaking smog boy from Ahsoka that just like never gets mentioned again. But yeah, just like the existence of just like, yes, we're witches and we all call each other witches. And the girl says like 4 or 5 times throughout the episode, like, I don't want to be a witch. I don't want to be a witch. And then they still like force her to become one. Yeah. And if not for like the Jedi showing up, would have become one. It's just weird, man.
Dude,
it's weird and like tonally inconsistent with the rest of Star Wars.
The fucking Star Wars official Twitter tweeted out a recipe to make fucking spice creams. I just like hate everything they're doing. It's like a whole video of like how to make spice creams.
Because everyone who watched this went, damn, I really want to know how to make spice creams.
No, what they're really doing is they're just being like, hey, we're gearing up towards women. Women are in the kitchen. Let's teach them how to bake.
Oh my god. You know,
that's what it feels
baking?
Like.
Women. Star Wars, stop. You're being misogynist.
They're just like, they're really out here pandering. They're just like, we need, they look at that, fucking 70% male demographic. They go, how do we get more women? Let's put some fucking recipes out into the world.
Dude, next episode, there's going to be a character that just like inexplicably, like 3 times in the episode is like, man, I really need a gargooknuk sandwich. Oh, this is a really good gargooknuk sandwich. And then they'll put out like the gargooknuk sandwich recipe on the official Star Wars Twitter.
Yeah. Dude, like my thing is like, if you want with like female viewership, how do you do that? In my opinion, you do more stuff like the Mon Mothma storyline of Andor. Like, that is a female character who's like doing like she's just like, her story in Andor is like one of my favorite. Like watching what she's doing and like getting that entire like insight into like the political intrigue and like how she's like trying to funnel money into the rebellion. Like a story like that is such a good storyline.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how we've continued to devolve into like nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a number of people, like Eric Kane is the Forbes writer, that I feel like has been the most generous as far as like, without being an outright shill, right? Because there's a lot of places that are just like outright shills. They're like, yes, this is the Star Wars we needed. And you're like, this is bad, dude. Like, just production-wise, this is bad. Like, we're going to be talking about Godzilla -1, which was made on a budget of definitely less than 15 million. Definitely more than 5 million. And, like, as I was watching that movie, I just kept thinking, like, they made this 2-hour movie on less money than a single episode of the show. And whenever you're watching the show, like this show has, like this episode had the same complaints as I had with the previous ones, which is like the sets look really small. They look like cheap. They look set up. They don't look natural. I mean, we haven't even said anything about like the whole stone cavern like gets set on fire, which a lot of people have been saying, and I think they're going to be like, oh no, see, that didn't actually happen. You get this different perspective that's going to be like, oh, it was the fight that got everyone killed, not the fire, right? And
yeah,
until that happens, it's still like you just still have the entire internet going, how the hell did you set an entire like brick and stone cavern on fire with a single lantern? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And like the only redeeming aspect of that
I'm not gonna
is,
lie.
Like, if you look, the door frame is wooden, so like the door frame at least can set on fire.
Yeah, I sat there and I went, she's like trying to escape, and I'm like, this entire room is stone. What?
Yeah, so like they do stuff like that where you as a viewer are like,
no,
this
Andrew, you
feels
don't
bad.
understand. You don't understand. It's force fire.
Sorry, thread fire.
Thread fire.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, we're gonna get canceled for being misogynistic for saying force. Fuck.
That's why she's worried, because the fire's gonna catch her thread and it's gonna follow her. It's gonna.
Oh no. And the fire does follow her. It follows her all the way into space, where you have like campfire and space scene.
Oh god, yeah.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Fire in space. Try harder. Try harder. Just make it believable, damn it. Do like jets of flame or something, like it's a fucking oxygen hose or something.
I think
caught fire.
I think when we recorded last week, the like audience score on Rotten Tomatoes was sitting at like a 50, like in the 50s or 40s. Do you know what it's sitting at right now?
No, it was at like 25.
It's now at 18%.
Yeah. I mean, I went and made a review and I gave it like a 1 star because I figured if I did 0, they'd be like, well, this is clearly fake. So I just went with 1 and was like, there's a lot of issues with this shit.
Yeah. It's just not good.
Sorry, not 1 star. I did a 0.5 star.
Nice.
Yeah, so kind of branching off of this conversation, there was an article that came out from The Wrap, I believe, which is like a professionals in Hollywood kind of publication.
Mhm.
And in it had some analytics of the Star Wars audience demographics. And Star Wars, this is from the article, Star Wars is male dominated, with many titles having a 70% or greater male share of audience. So basically what this means is that, like, for the vast majority of Star Wars shows, it has less than 30% of the audience is female. Even the most successful shows, the most successful show for Star Wars, which was like with female, Jesus Christ, dude, I don't know how to talk. The most successful show from Star Wars with female audiences was The Mandalorian, and even it had a greater than 60% male audience.
Yeah.
Every other Star Wars series has had a greater than 70% male audience. And this was actually on a graph with a bunch of Marvel shows as well. And even the Marvel shows, only 3 of them broke into the majority female audience. And that was Loki. Oh, shoot. What's the girl from Netflix show?
You're talking about Agent Carter?
Agent Carter was one. And then the last one was Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the only Marvel shows that have had a majority female audience. Everything else has been more than 50% male. Yeah. And even Echo, which came out recently and did abysmal as far as numbers, viewing numbers, had a greater than 80% male audience. So, like, Marvel and Star Wars are both male-dominated audiences.
Yeah.
Why are they trying to capitalize on a female audience for a female audience that simply isn't there?
Because they think they can hold. It's 100% that they think they can just hold the male viewership because it's a drug. They're just like, yeah, you're not going to give up Star Wars. You're going to keep injecting it into your veins, and in the meantime, we'll try to gather up the. They want to try to, like, gather up female viewership. Yeah. That's 100% what it is. It's all about market share. They want as many people to view this as possible so that they can make as much money as possible. And the problem is, like, it hasn't gotten to a point where people have started. Like, I've been boycotting it. I finally watched Andor because you talked so highly of it, but, like, everything else I gave up on pretty quickly. Like, we did Ahsoka for the podcast. Obi-Wan I watched like the first 2, maybe 3 episodes and then quit. Like, The Mandalorian, I haven't even touched anything past the 2nd season. Like, Boba Fett did not watch. Like, I've just given up. And I'm not going to give them my money. I mean, technically I'm giving them my money because I'm still... Well, my parents pay for Disney Plus. So you know what? I'm not giving them my money. So they can go fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Especially after this show, like, that's how I'm feeling. I don't see a way out of this for them without making significant changes within Lucasfilm itself.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think it comes down to, like, people just need to stop watching and let it just, like, fail to the point where they finally have to make those changes or sell the franchise. Like, it's one or the other.
Yeah. And even now, you're starting to hear more in the rumor mill about Rey movie coming up and it being, like, confirmed. Yeah, it is happening and all that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll see how that goes. And then we're going to keep watching this fucking train wreck. So let's move on to something better. Jesus Christ.
Godzilla -1.
Gojira -1. A 2-hour movie made for definitely less than $15 million.
Yes.
And it's a Godzilla movie, and I teared up twice. I didn't cry, but I did get a little choked up.
I didn't cry either. I don't know if I got choked up. I definitely got goosebumps. You know what? I did cheer up at one point. Now I'm thinking about it. Did.
When like it starts off so good because it takes place at the final days of World War II, and in the few years afterwards, and it's just like such a wholesome story of this like found family coming together and all kind of saving each other.
Yeah.
And God, dude, when I thought they killed off Noriko, that was her name, right?
Yeah, Noriko.
Yeah, when I thought they killed off Noriko, I was like, holy shit. Holy shit, this movie's got balls. And then somehow, when they showed that they hadn't actually killed her, I was like, holy shit, this movie's got balls. And they did really good.
I had that same thought too. I was just like, damn, they really did that. They said, nope, psych. She's still alive.
When she disappears, you're like, oh, she's fucking gone, dude.
Oh yeah, I watched her fly away. I was like, there's no shot. But you know what?
And he fucking like comes out and he's like looking around and there's just like nothing and there's dead silence and then it pans up to Godzilla and the first thing you hear after all that is like, ah!
Yeah.
Dude, that movie slaps so fucking hard. I love that movie.
It's great. I'm not gonna lie, like I love that moment, that just like pause, the moment of tension where like it's just dead silence, where everyone thinks like Godzilla's about to just fucking blast everyone the fuck away, and then you just get the fucking like noise of the plane come in, like you just get the fucking propeller just going as it comes in.
Oh,
he comes flying in, Koichi just doing the thing.
Yeah.
The thing about Godzilla -1, in contrast with watching the Acolyte, that is so good, is the brief time that we are spent with the majority of characters, except for the mains. But how awesome their arcs are. Like that mechanic whose whole squad was killed in the beginning, who hates him. And that arc to where at the end he's the one who installs the parachute into the plane and is like, "Dude, don't do this." His arc.
I don't think he installed it. I think he just pointed it out because he was like, "Look, man, this is a plane that actually has an ejection seat."
No, I think he did it.
He did install it.
I thought he installed it, and he was like, "Yeah, like, let me show you this."
No, because he's got that scene where he's like looking back behind the seat, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Because like. I think a little after or before that, the doctor's like, yeah, the government and, you know, we haven't like treated our people very well. And like, we've been just throwing them away like they're disposable and lying to them and all this stuff and like making planes without ejection seats. And then I don't know if it was before or after that kind of like rousing speech that you get the scene with him, like he's looking in the cockpit and then you see something like catches his eye and he starts looking back behind the seat. Yeah.
I'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like I absolutely understand why this movie was like so well received.
They're making another one. And
the best part is
we can say it's Oscar winning now because it won the Oscar for best VFX.
Nice. The best thing is like it's just so simple. It's they leave it so uncomplicated. I mean, it's just big.
It's like they give you what you want, right? So you have this guy he sees himself as a failure, right? Sees himself as a coward, and then he like becomes brave, and then you have all of these people working together to save each other, and like that's such an uplifting message. So uplifting. Sorry, I feel strongly for how good this movie was on the budget it had, and it's like juxtaposed to the Acolyte. It just makes me so angry about Lucasfilm.
It
Yeah.
is the best Godzilla since Shin Godzilla.
Mm.
But it is the best Godzilla, I think, of all of the Godzillas that have been made in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy you said 20 years because that leaves out Godzilla 99, and if that was in there, I'd have had to argue with you.
Dude, that movie should not be called Godzilla, but it is very entertaining. It does not hold up. But I had
bad.
Dude, it does. The graphics are so bad. The CGI is so bad now.
Oh yeah.
But that movie was so weird when I was a kid. I remember seeing it in theaters and going to Taco Bell after. Yeah, weird movie.
How many Godzilla movies are there?
A lot.
That's the other thing. This is the first Godzilla movie. I think it's Toei. Toei. I can't remember. I think it's them. But
the same people who do One Piece.
Probably, yeah. I believe this is the first Godzilla movie that because they own the rights to it, that they've put their stamp on in 35 years.
No, the owner's Toho.
Oh, it's Toho. That's okay. Toho Studios.
Yeah.
What is Toei? Doesn't Toei own a gaming studio too? I thought it was Toei. It's Toho. Okay.
Toys.
Yeah, I'm high on cold medicine right now, so my brain's all over the place. Toho. This is the first Godzilla movie. I think it's 35 years. It might be longer than that, but this is the first contemporary Godzilla movie of any that they've put their stamp on.
I will say this: whenever the movie starts and you get like, because
There
this is
are-
the thing like Japanese studios do, where they still use the same studio cards that they did in like the 60s and 80s, and like every time one of those pops up, I'm like, hell yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like over 50 Godzilla movies in Toho Studios made from the 50s through the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, I think at one point back in the day, they were cranking one out like it might have been faster than one film per year, as far as like Godzilla movies. So that makes sense.
It's like, yeah, this says 33 films.
That might be canon films, but there's other ones. Like I'm pretty sure there's an Ultraman Godzilla team up at some point. Yeah, they did a whole spin-off. Toho, there might be 33 Toho films. There's other studios that did like spin-offs of Godzilla.
Yeah, so like
I used to watch Scooby Doo. You remember Godzuki on Scooby Doo?
No.
Godzuki, Godzilla's little cousin.
Oh my god, no.
You gotta look that up. The Scooby Doo episodes are with Godzuki.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean everything about this show, like the movie, cinematography was good. The action is suspenseful. Like whenever they're trying to pull him up and the balloons pop, and you see like the tension on the crane, and you see like everyone bracing against the sides of the ship. There's so much tension, and it's in everything. It's in the ship, it's in the framing, it's in the actors and the characters. It's in everything. It's so tense, man. God. And then like whenever all the little fucking tugboats show up, I was like, oh hell yeah. Because at first you hear the dude's voice that was like, no, you're not allowed to come. And then he hears voice over the radio and you're like, oh fuck, they're gonna kill him off. No. They didn't kill anyone off. I mean, they kill no-name people off, but pretty much everyone at the end gets to do their shit, which felt so good.
Great movie.
Fantastic.
What are you giving it?
Yeah, 9.5.
9.5. I'm gonna give it.
Very good.
I'm gonna be lower. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 9.2.
Whoa.
Not much lower, but
That's crazy.
This movie's a certified 10, gentlemen.
damn, big words.
Well, yeah, Anything else we want to talk about this week?
I've been I don't know. Other than traveling and playing Hades, I've been listening to audiobooks. I did Ready Player One. Vastly different from the movie, like wildly different. I feel like you probably haven't read it or listened to it, have you, Andrew?
No, I own it.
I know.
I've never read it.
Okay, I know you and I watched the movie together, I think, right?
We might have.
I'm pretty sure we did at some point. I don't remember when or where, for what reason, but the book, it's like it's because like I think it goes into more references to like very niche stuff like that we like. Like there's some references to Neuromancer that he makes.
Yeah, I had heard that they couldn't get the rights to a lot of things, and so they changed a lot of things.
That's fair. Yeah, like there's a lot of like D&D stuff in the first book. But yeah, just like throwing out references to like Neuromancer, like D&D. God, I can't even remember what else.
Neuromancer is a pretty apt thing to reference in that book, though, because Neuromancer is like half of the book takes place in cyberspace.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say the book is so wildly different than the movie. In my opinion, a lot better. But I mean, that's a lot of books compared to the movies. But yeah, no, it was nice. I we did our trip to Minneapolis, and I pretty much finished the entire book on the trip there and back, just like in the car, just listening.
That's how to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever I was driving up and back from my sister's wedding, I just listened to Gaunt's ghost books the whole time. So
nice.
Some of those later ones are like 14 hours, so I'm pretty sure like the whole drive back was just one book for me.
Yeah. So I think this one was like 15 hours. So I think I did have like a little, like I had like maybe 1 or 2 hours left when I like got back here that I just like I've been listening to some of it at work. So I'd finished Ready Player One. I started Ready Player Two, which is pretty good. It dives to the concept of just like moving from like having all the haptic stuff to just like wiring your brain straight into the fucking internet.
Yeah, brother. That's what we need.
Yeah. But yeah, no, other than that, I've been preparing for my week-long trip into the forest.
True. I haven't been doing much.
Nice, yeah. Hey, good to keep it simple.
Yep. Well,
I've had laryngitis.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, you actually kind of sound better for once.
Yeah, dude. I mean, when my when I cough or my voice,
because usually you sound like a little bitch.
Yeah, he fucking gotcha. Shit.
He's coughing right now. He'll come back in like 2 minutes.
You're a bit.
I feel your pain. I finally got rid of all my chest congestion. Like I think like Monday was my first day finally like being clear. And I remember like when like during that time when I was sick, I was getting so frustrated with how I just could not get my chest congestion up that I went like, I'm gonna really appreciate it when I can breathe again. I remember Monday finally feeling like I could breathe and being like, you know what, I'm taking a minute to just like appreciate the fact that I'm no longer sick.
Yeah,
so
like that.
I hope you get that,
Scott.
Isaac. I hope you get that relief.
Scott, you know what?
Huh.
Andrew's a bitch.
You are what you eat.
Now you sound like one of those 4 switches.
No, I just mean I like dog fried rice. Yeah,
Well,
you know
if
what
you
I
made
will
it this
say?
far,
You know what I will say? Magic the Gathering has been just pissing me off because like the power creep in the cards nowadays is like ridiculous. You got people that like turn 5 are
it's
dropping
it's
stupid
bad.
shit.
I do want to say I do love the arc that Charlie Moist Critical is currently on, where he's just completely addicted to the game.
Oh,
No,
I
he's
hate
not.
it.
He's not addicted to the game. He's addicted to the gambling.
Addicted to the
He's
collection
addicted
scene.
to the pay money Wubby buy. But the difference is Charlie has way more money than Wubby, and when Wubby does it, yeah, he buys the boxes. But most of his viewers are putting money in to buy the boxes, and then they get it's a random draw. But Charlie's just cold dropping fat stacks for some of these boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, towards the end of some of those skill checks, is it skill check? The channel?
Yeah, skill check. Yep.
Yeah. Towards the end of some of those streams or videos when he's opening, he's just like, get these commons and uncommons out of the way. And I'm like, dude, you're already in the toxic opening stage and you just started.
It's so funny. Well, and like I know because he's been like a collector like for a while of like stuff, and I think even before he started playing, he loved the art on the Kaladesh like invention, so he collected those. But he's actually been playing now apparently. So I don't know.
I will say I like the Gamer Sups
the vending machine.
Vending machine, or I think it's a claw machine, isn't it?
Claw machine. Yeah, it's a claw machine.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? That's sick.
Yeah, GamerSup's got a cease and desist letter for their having Joe Biden on there from the Secret Service for having Joe Biden on their energy.
Oh my god!
One because they said that it was a danger. It was a dangerous representation of the president that could be a danger to national security.
Oh my god!
And they posted the cease and desist letter on Twitter, and everybody was like, okay. And so somebody said you should replace it with Donald Trump because he doesn't give a shit about anything.
God.
No, he'll just want like a profit share.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so funny.
I'm a G Fuel guy anyways.
I don't know, dude. GamerSupps has some cool shit.
They do like the spoof flavors like the mommy milkers or mommy milk.
Well, yeah, because they just go to creators and they're like, hey, what do you want your shit to taste like, and then what do you want it to be named, and then you get absolutely unhinged off the wall stuff like Grandpa's Ashes, Mommy Milkers. You got like all the waifu random stuff. You got like all the VTuber girls random things. Like,
I'll probably give them a try at some point. I just like
Schmitty's, who's just named Good.
Oh my god! I just like I know what flavors of G Fuel I like, so I just like usually stick to those.
Yeah, the most tempted I've been to get some dumbass gamer caffeine is the Gamer Sup crap, just because it's
my thing is like
mouse pad.
I used to like I used to back like for a while there I was just like addicted to like energy drinks, just buying like 2 or 3 energy drinks a day, and it's just like I'm dropping like $2.50 a drink, so I'm dropping like $2.50 to $5 a day, and like versus just like I can pay $35 for 40 servings of G Fuel, and that's I'm spending less than $1 to get well caffeinated.
Yeah, because I think the standard discount on like 12-ounce Red Bulls is like 2 for $6. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
that's you go to broke boy mode and you get the monsters, and it's like buy 2 get 1 free.
Yeah. So I made that switch,
Monster, dude.
Not me. I don't, dude. I used to back in high school. I don't remember. I had a fucking monster problem, but I don't know. I think that ruined me on it. I can't drink it now. It tastes too fucking sweet. Like it tastes like syrupy.
Scott tried to do the overdose on Monster at my house one time.
I had like 9 monsters in one night.
He was like, "Look, my hand won't stop shaking," and I'm like, "Stop, stop drinking the Monster."
Andrew, do you remember? All of the cardiac damage we did to ourselves was Spike at Smoothie King.
I never had more than 1 a day. I'll say that.
My gosh, that was dangerous.
Yeah, Spike's one of those drinks. I think they discontinued it because it had the stuff that increases your internal body temperature, and so people were actually dying from it because they'd like
That's like
drink this Spike
thermogenic
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they'd like go for a like endurance workout or something like that, and they'd legitimately overheat and die because they were like drinking this energy drink. But yeah, all those like negative calorie energy drinks, anytime I drank those, I just immediately went into like the rage mode where it was like, it's not good. I don't feel good. I don't feel better drinking this crap. Like, I just go straight to angry. So
Yeah.
I think me also being like a low fat individual, it's like there's not much reason for me not to get the ones with a bit of sugar in them. So
Yeah. Fair.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll
Hey,
get some
hey,
fucking gamer subs.
G Fuel Gamer Subs, sponsor us. One of you. Maybe both of you.
I wonder
Fight-
what the
Fight for it.
I wonder what the number of what's the stupid industry term for like how many views or whatever you get. They use it on
I
like
don't
Twitter
know.
and stuff now. Anyway,
The analytics.
not analytics, but like how many interactions with your post you get. So like views, likes,
I think isn't it just interactions or like
something like that.
Engagement.
engagement?
Yeah, I wonder what your level of engagement has to be for gamer subs to be like, hey, yeah, come make a flavor.
Probably pretty big.
What would there's a question. What would our gamer sub or G Fuel flavor title be?
Star Wars Gravestone.
I was thinking Space Wizard Degeneracy. Space Wizards Rise Up. Where are Space Wizards at? Do we have a name for our fans yet? Can it just be Space Wizards? Where are
Space
fucking
Wizards.
Space Wizards at? I summoned the Space Wizards. We just
I like
start
it.
saying that at the beginning of every podcast. Welcome back, my Space Wizards.
I like it. I think we run with that.
Hell yeah. We're doing that now. That's the shit. Our fucking first shirt will just be like Space Wizard Gang.
I like it.
It'll be like the wizard with SMG, but it'll be a wizard with the stormtrooper rifle.
Yeah, I feel like you could do some sick art with Space Wizards as a theme.
I feel like you could.
Yeah.
Could probably get Matt to draw up something kind of degenerate. Like an old man in a bathrobe with a wizard hat on with a fucking Star Wars LMG.
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop us?
Not Disney.
You should just call it Anakin isn't special anymore.
Shmi's ashes. Qui-Gon's ashes.
Darth Maul's lower half.
Darth Maul's dick plunging into darkness. The darkness is my asshole. This is the point where like the episode should have ended like 15 minutes ago. I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted 2 pages of a script up in the script.
Oh damn! I didn't see it.
Did you see that?
I didn't, but I see it now.
I was thinking about making some goofy Daytona Noir.
I like it.
You wanna read it? Alright, Daytona Noir. Scene opens on a dark mall parking lot. The downcast spotlights of the parking lot light poles make the dark between them seem all the darker where 2 cars are parked. A young man leans against the trunk of each car. One smokes a cigarette, the other is illuminated momentarily by the light of a vape. They exhale in unison, in different directions, but their breath blows in the same direction of the wind. Kyle, a white guy in his early 20s size. Michael, a Hispanic guy also in his early 20s, drums the trunk of his car absent-mindedly, almost nervously. Kyle, well, I got the bat, 2 ski masks, and a 22, but I prefer if we didn't have to use them. The gun, I mean. His cigarette hangs precariously between his lips as he turns and opens the trunk. Illuminated by a distant light pole is a semi-automatic 22 pistol. Michael, look, Kyle, there's no reason you have to do this with me, but I've got to do this. He folds his arms before unfolding them again to hit his vape. Kyle, I know. He sighs again. He pulls the bat out of the trunk and hands it to Michael. Michael, I mean, the way this shit's gone, this is how it has to end. The camera pans away from the two of them as they exchange items from the trunk of their cars in the dark of the parking lot. The view sweeps to the dark trees, up over the horizon to the city at night, and brightens into the light of a morning 3 days earlier. Michael lurches forward, vomiting into the bowl of a dirty toilet. Splashing accompanies his tortured groans. Finished, he sits against the wall, breathing heavily, a string of spittle hanging from his unshaven face. A girl in her early 20s stands in the doorframe, looking down at him. Lindsay, I told you not to stay out too late. Michael, I didn't. I just drank more than I thought I did. Lindsay, and how'd you get home? Michael, Kyle, obviously. Can you stop giving me shit? I'm sick here. Lindsay, I texted you at 2 a.m. and you never responded. Michael, Jesus Christ, I went out. I wasn't looking at my phone. He shrugs pathetically. Lindsay, yeah, you went out with Kyle and look at you now. You're supposed to go to brunch today. She turns and walks out of the bathroom. Michael, he whispers to himself, oh, fuck this. He stands and stumbles out after her into their bedroom. Lindsay, hey, come on, we can still go eat. Lindsay, it's afternoon now, Michael. You never fucking think about me. It's always you and what you want to do. She's rushing to get dressed. Michael, that's not fair. I went out one time and you're exploding like this? What's up? Lindsay shakes her hair over one shoulder and stuffs her phone into her purse. Lindsay, Michael, it's not one time. It's every week. It's almost every night. You and Kyle go out and get drunk together, and I'm just stuck here waiting for you. I'm always fucking waiting for you, and you don't give a shit. You stay out until... Michael tries to calm her down, but she pushes him away. Stop. This is Lindsay. I need some space. Michael backs up. Michael, I was just trying to... Lindsay, I know what you were trying to do. A hug or kiss isn't going to help right now. We have this argument practically every day. I'm almost done with this. The impact of her words stuns Michael. Michael, done? Lindsay storms out of the single-bedroom apartment, slamming the door behind her. Michael sits defeated on the side of the bed. He picks up his vape and hits it before picking up his phone. Cut. Kyle and Michael sit on the bench overlooking the Halifax. They each have a paper coffee cup beside them. Kyle lights a cigarette. Kyle, so what exactly did she say again? Michael, she said she's almost done with this. With us, I guess. I don't know what that means. Kyle, well, maybe she just needs to... He looks at Michael and then back out to the river. I mean, it's not like we're doing drugs or fucking... Kyle sighs and reforms his thoughts. I mean, all we do is go out and get drunk. What's wrong with that? Michael, me, I guess. I'm the problem. She hasn't been happy in a long time. I guess I'm the problem. Michael takes a sip of coffee and looks at his phone. It's just kind of silly she gets mad at me for not texting her back and then goes and doesn't text me back either. All day and she hasn't said anything. Fuck, I better go. If she gets home and I'm not there, she'll probably be even more pissed. He stands up. Kyle flicks the butt of his cigarette away. Kyle, all right, man. Good luck. Michael scoffs. What do you think about that? There's an opening couple of scenes for a
I like it.
noir based in Daytona.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I like it.
Is that in script format?
Probably not. I was just typing it up. I typed it up in like literally 30 minutes today.
I was gonna say, if that's in script format, that's like 4 pages.
Hell
It's
yeah.
just a word, so
Maybe even 5. Yeah, no, that's really good. I think I'm interested.
spoiler alert, she's dead.
Oh shit!
Oh fuck.
Did you ever see Under the Silver Lake?
No.
The A24 noir with Andrew Garfield?
No.
It's very good. But that's he's like an LA guy, and he meets this stranger, this girl, in his pool one night, and like they have like a moment, and then she ends up dead, and he pretty much like travels throughout the seedy underbelly of downtown Los Angeles looking for her and trying to figure out what happened to her. It's a noir. It is very good. But the thing, have you ever seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
No, I haven't, but it's one I've
We
No.
need to do
been putting
like
off.
noir month
Oh yeah, for
I'm down.
sure.
and just go ham. Like Kiss Kiss Bang
Oh
Bang,
yeah,
Under
dude.
the
The Red
Silver
Riding
Lake.
series. The Red Riding series is like
Very
fucking
good.
awesome, dude. Like
Yeah.
Sean Bean, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, what's his name from Misfits and oh shit, the Irish kid. What the fuck is his name? He's in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, I
You
know
know
what
what
you're
I'm talking
talking
about.
about.
He
I
sees
know
the
what you're talking
ghost.
about. Yeah. There's so many good noirs. That like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not a comedy noir, but it's a noir.
Robert Sheehan, by the way.
Oh, okay. Under the Silver Lake's very, very good. Yeah, noir is one of my favorite genres. We should definitely do a noir month,
Yeah.
especially if you're actively writing one.
Well, I just thought it would be like I remember you and I joked about this probably 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we together should write a like Daytona Noir about like a high school kid who like smoked cigarettes and I mean 10 years ago it would have been like 2014 by the way.
Yeah.
Like high school kid who smoked cigarettes and I can't remember what we said the plot of it would be, but it was like something kind of dumb. And yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this will be funny. And then I was gonna write out like a parody noir kind of thing, and then I ended up writing that instead and was like, this doesn't feel like a parody. This feels like it's actually something. Not like this is actually something good. Like I don't think that. It's just like, oh, this is actually a story and not just the fucking joke.
Yeah. That's how most of my scripts start. When I write a script, is it'll be like, this could be interesting, and then I write a scene, and then that scene leads to another scene, which leads to another scene, and then something is somewhere between 85 and 150 pages later, the movie's done, and then I go, either I need to add 2 more scenes to this, or I need to chop 50 pages out of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun
'Cause
part.
what is it they say for movies? It's like 70 scenes and you have a movie.
Yeah, it's all relative. It doesn't really matter. There's no like specific. The only thing that's like consistent that you have to have every time is a general structure of familiarity, which doesn't need to be 3 acts, but it typically is. Which is in the first act, you put your protagonist in a tree. In the second act, you have your antagonist and life throw rocks at your protagonist in the tree. And in the third act, you either kill him with one of those rocks in the tree, or you take him out of the tree and you bring him down safely. As long as you do that, and if you apply that to almost every movie that's ever existed, it follows that format. As long as that format is loosely followed, then it's a movie.
True.
And also the Bible.
Also the Bible. God.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. I
You should keep writing it because that's it. I want to see where it goes.
yeah, like in my mind, I was trying to keep it like as low budget as possible, so it'd literally just be like very few cars driving into trees and that kind of shit, you know.
Yeah, well, we live in Florida, so as long as it's public property and you don't need a city worker there, you don't need a permit to film anywhere. As long as it's public property.
I thought you were about to say you don't need a permit to drive a car into a tree.
I mean, you don't.
You don't. You just got to get the car towed afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, if it's private property and they don't mind you leaving it there, there's lots of people in DeLand that would probably pay you to drive one of their cars into a tree.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I'm just saying, like Florida's super. The fact that we don't have a tax incentive is bullshit, but it's so easy to film things here.
Yeah, that's why everyone shoots up in Georgia, right?
Yeah, because you get Well, in Georgia, if you spend over $250,000, you get 30% back as a tax incentive the next year, and that's not 30% off of your taxes. That's 30% of every dollar you spend back to you in check form.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's really good. North Carolina's really good. Ohio's really good.
Yeah. I recently came across a bunch of my older like journals and like creative writing exercises that I would do. And a lot of these are from like 2014 actually. So like one page will be like me having like the angstiest like I'm a 20-year-old and I'm angry like journal entry, and then like the next page will be a like a one page like flash fiction piece. And dude, reading your old I feel I feel the way about like reading my old writing is like you hear some actors feel about watching themselves on screen. So like you're I think he's gotten better about it, but Adam Driver at one point, like if you tried to show him a clip of something he had done, he would like literally walk out of interviews and stuff. Um but I think more recently he said he's gotten better about that. But like me reading my old shit, I'm just like, oh my god, dude, this could have been half decent if you just didn't do this like 2 or 3 things. And now I'm like looking at all these old things and being like, I could rewrite this. I could rewrite this. I can make this better.
I'll send you. I'll put it in the Discord in case for any reason Scott would want to read it, but I doubt that he would. But I'll send you a first draft of a script that I wrote. It's like a comedy. It's not really a noir, but I wrote it like I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and I wrote it over 3 days, and I was super mad, and I was kind of on a bender when we were in LA waiting to film, and no, like COVID was happening, and it was like, oh, we got to push a week. Oh, we got to push a week. And so I just grabbed a bottle of tequila and went outside with my laptop and 2 packs of cigarettes. And at the end of the day, I had 30 pages. And then I did it again the next day and I had 30 more pages. And I did it again the next day. I had 90 pages. And I was like, sweet.
Yeah. The only time I feel like, oh, I was not meant for this generation, I should have been born like 20 years earlier, is when I want to sit down and write. And in my head, like the most perfect, ideal writing circumstance is like cup of coffee, shot of whiskey, something to smoke, like pipe, cigar. If I was not on the vapes, I think it would be cigarettes. But just like sitting at your desk at the computer, right? I just have this image of me like it's never happened. I've never smoked inside, but just like chain smoking cigarettes while I'm like furiously fucking typing away.
Yeah, that was Elmore Leonard. Elmore Leonard's one of my favorite authors. He wrote tons of great noirs. Have you ever read Stick or Rum Punch or God? There's so many. There's so many. He's written so many good ones. I have so many of them. I just can't think of. Oh, La Brava. Have you read any of those?
No.
He wrote Fire in the Hole, which is the short story that Justified's based on.
Oh, okay.
He's a great author, but his ritual until the day he died, I believe he died in the 70s, but is he would go down his basement, which was his writing cave. He always wrote on a typewriter. He'd put the first piece of paper in the typewriter. He'd start the coffee upstairs and leave the basement door open so he could smell it. And he would light a cigarette and he would take a puff and then he would open the window to the basement, sit back down at the typewriter, and he said I could smell the coffee, but I wouldn't reward myself with my first cup until I got the first paragraph on the page. Once the first paragraph was on the page, then I was allowed to go get coffee. And then once I had that coffee, I could just go because
I'm gonna have to start doing that with nicotine.
yeah. And he was like, that was my thing. And it like he did it his whole life. And
Dude, I would love if it wasn't if the housing market wasn't so fucking infeasible right now. I would love to like build a shed out in the backyard, stick a window unit AC in, and then just like
that's my dream.
walk out there, fucking literally just do everything I said. Like have warm bottle of whiskey sitting on a shelf, like pour one shot, bottle back, toss the shot, have a fucking coffee machine in the fucking shed with me because I've run
That's the dream.
electric
That's the dream.
out there. Oh man. And then you're like, sit down, start fucking typing. Just like a room away from like the rest of my house that you could sit down and just be like fully focused, one-minded on one thing.
Yep.
Fucking stick the record player out there, have a decent sound system, just play fucking breakcore shit.
Oh my god. One of my point in saying that though about that script is when I read that script now that I wrote 5 years ago, it is dog shit. When I wrote it, I was like, this could be something, and now I read it, I'm like, this is not good. I don't know. I think when you look back at the old things that you wrote too, like things change a lot. Like you change. Like you look at something that you wrote back then, you're like, I don't know about that. But yeah.
Well, it's funny because like there's so much like little scene work that I wrote where I'm like, oh, this right here is really like this really works. Like this is really setting something up. And then like I'll just have something stuck into it that's like totally inconsistent and I'm like, that's fucking cringe, dude. I just want to like shake my little 20-year-old head and be like, where are the good ideas? Get those ones out. Yeah. But so that's been kind of fun. Like I've got the notebook and I've like stuck some like bookmarks in. Also, I wrote in ink. And for some reason, anytime I made a typo, I would just like scribble the word out and that like really annoys me now instead of just like crossing it out. Yikes. All right. We've been yapping for too long. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. Music, as always, by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. With me today were my good little boys, my good little pals, my proud and powerful space wizards, Scott and Isaac. Y'all can say goodbye if you want.
Goodbye.
Bye.